So here's Camp Davis Speedway. First test and tune, put 4 batteries on it. And actually the rear of that Traxxas there, the left rear, one of the pins is a little bit loose, so the rear control arm is loose, so we're gonna have to stop. But put 4 batteries on this. You can see the marbles that are building up over here. This turn 3 and 4 has a little bit different clay. As you can see, it's red, and but it makes nice marbles. And no bank here, not yet anyway. I guess over time we'll push dirt up toward the back, up toward the wall. And here's the front stretch here. Kind of bouncy yet, but it's definitely working. Here's turn 1 and 2. You can see it's nicely packed over here. This is one I hope to get a bank on sooner than the other one. The dirt's a little bit different. Also, but it packs nicely. Really packs nicely. Okay, and you can see coming around the corner here, back stretch, really nice and tacky. Looking real tacky right there. Again, kind of bouncy, but we're going to work that out. This is just 1.0 here. So come around the back stretch here, still nice and tacky. Gotta hit this turn number 3 nice and low, otherwise you're going to get into these marbles. Getting in the marbles, you don't know where you're going to come out of them. And you come around the corner here, turn 4. And back up the straightaway. This thing works really nice. I just drag it behind me, I take it around 10 or 12 laps, and it chops up the high spots and kind of lets the dirt fall into the low spots. It's just a bunch of concrete screws, kind of like a sled thing, tow behind. I tried towing it with the with that thing over there, but it doesn't really, not very comfortable standing behind. And really, it's not hard to tow anyway. You really don't need to do that many laps. It's not bad exercise. So I tow behind that sled there, and it works real nice to kind of chop up the dirt a little bit and flatten it out. So over time, it's going to get flatter and flatter. But got these rubber discs here for the corners, and they're working real nice. They don't hurt the car at all, but if you hit them, they mess you up real good. So that's kind of the nice way to get around a corner. If you go too sharp on that corner, hit those discs there, it's not a benefit. And then you don't want to get up here into the wall either, but if you do, it just slides right along the wall. There's really almost no place to really take a lot of damage across this wall. You'd almost have to slam straight into it. I've got it made so it overlaps the right direction, right? So, yeah, really neat. And drainage in the middle. As I make the track slope toward the middle more, it'll drain better here. But right now it's almost perfectly flat. You got some low spots in it. You can see that's kind of a low spot there. When you get the water sprinkling on it, and it pools, you can see where the low spots are. I've got some pictures of the low spots so I can try to fill them in. But really, it's absolutely usable just the way it is now. A lot of work, but I tell you, those first 4 batteries, I thought to myself, yeah, it was worth it. You can see here one of those low spots, kind of what happens when you can see kind of the really light clay comes to the top on one of those low spots right there. So we can fill that in. But I'm walking around, and this stuff is so tacky that it just sticks to my boots. You see we're sticking to the boots. You see it's all over the car. So this clay is really nice. It's taking a lot of screening though. Oh, this is my screening box right here. You can see I've kind of gone through different iterations of it. This is a larger holes here, and this has got this is almost like a speaker screen or something. I'm not sure where it came from. Maybe it was off of a furnace or something, I don't know. But it's got a lot smaller, and it catches really the smaller, and that's really the size you're going to want. I don't know what that is. What is that? Maybe 4 millimeters, maybe something like that on the holes. But you can see it ends up leaving just the dusty stuff for the most part, and really tiny little pebbles that really just don't matter. Pebbles about like that is like the maximum to get through. Matter of fact, that may not even got through the new screen, maybe just the old screen. So pebble that size doesn't really seem to matter as long as there's not too many of them, and they're getting thrown to the outside. And so the actual track is starting to look like that, really getting nice and packed and almost pure clay at this point. It looks like it's not as pure as, you know, you let it dry and it looks a lot more granular, a lot more grainy. And here's the front stretch. It hasn't had the car, you see the size of those pebbles there. And that's actually a big one. I mean, here's a really big one compared to what we used to be. But this ground had all of this, it was like just like that. I mean, there was a lot of rock in it. And all the rock has ended up backfilling along the sides here. So, but the drainage, once it starts working, should be working really well. You can see how tacky it is, and it's actually kind of soft right there. So but I'm hoping to make it more of a little berm here, so it won't do that so much. You can see that's where the drainage comes out. That's going to be the driver's stand. And so this driver's stand is going to be looking out over the oval track over here. Oops, oval track over here. And then it's going to be about 4 feet high. That should be enough, I would think. And then back here, this is going to be a road course. Coming around the trees, a lot of these trees can come down. I really don't care much about the trees. Got trees all over the place. So there's plenty of room out that way for a road course. You see there's rocks and things going to have to be cleaned up. But so you look over here, you got your oval track, and then it'll turn this direction and we'll have a road course. I kind of gave up on the idea of making the oval track part of the road course, but there's absolutely no reason why we couldn't have a really nice road course out this direction. So we can start working on that. First thing is just kind of chop down some of these littler trees, kind of dig them up, that sort of thing. And I might need to actually bring in some fill dirt because it's pretty rocky over there. I'm not sure where I'm going to get enough dirt to actually make a course that's kind of dirt based instead of rock based. And those rocks are hard and some of them are pretty darn deep. So we're going to have to build up. So I may have to have someone bring some fill dirt in here. I have to see if we get any fill dirt off of another location on camp here. But so I made this thing. Over here thinking I'd be using it for a packer, right? And it worked, but it's just absolutely not necessary. It was totally, I mean, what I did is riveted some old style, sort of like almost looks like an old tractor, you know, the way they used to do their wheels, and then I just put them over top of those tires, and then refilled the tires with air. And actually it worked as it's supposed to work for the most part. I mean, but it just wasn't necessary. This track's not that big, and just dragging it around with that thing over there, with that sled, and it just packs itself. You water it down, it packs itself. Right now I've got one sprinkler that I put on the corner, right about there, and it'll do one half of the track, and then I move it over there, and it'll do that half of the track, and then after it's sprinkled, then you let it dry. You know, if you've got it, if you've raked it with the kind of a rake thing over there, the sled, it just settles. You know, you put the car on it takes off some of the little dusty stuff on the top, and it's tacky as crap. It really is. It's really, really nice and tacky. So, and it's just going to get better as the car goes around it and throws the pebbles up. We'll just brush the pebbles up to the outside, and then this here, you can see it's not really flat here. I don't know if you can tell on the camera or not, but all this stuff is going to go down, hopefully, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches, and all that extra dirt's going to come toward the outside as I work it. And so it's just going to get better and better as we go, and it'll get smoother and smoother. The car kind of bounces as it goes around the back stretch a bit there, but again, that's just going to smooth out. This is really day one of it actually being anywhere near complete. So that's not bad at all. I mean, you could absolutely put 4 cars on this and race it right now. It'd be bouncy, right? And probably a 4-wheel drive would get around it a lot faster. But I mean, it's there you go. It's pretty much ready to go right now. And I get the driver stand up. You know me, I won't be able to sit still. Half the time I'll be racing, the other half the time I'll be thinking about what we're going to do with the road course, the off-road course over here. So that's a lot of rocks. I'm almost certain I'm going to have to bring in some dirt for that. Or at least get dirt from somewhere. Get a machine in here to bring some dirt in. Anyway, there's Camp Davis Speedway 1.0. And yeah, already, I mean, I was sweating my butt off doing the work in this thing, but it's good exercise for me. So there you go. As far as I'm concerned, those first 4 batteries made all the work like, oh, this is going to be awesome. So I'm not worried about it. It's a lot of sweat involved with this. Bit of money. You can see that I actually paid for the guardrail to be really nice. So when you're kind of looking at it, driving by, you can tell what it's supposed to be. It may be foolish looking to some people, and maybe it is, I don't know. But at least it doesn't look like crap, right? It doesn't look like something thrown together and I don't know, I wouldn't know if I'd say professional, but it looks really nice. And on the outside, it looks pretty good too. It's actually backfilled pretty well over here now. You can see that. I'll probably clean that up a bit, right? It's just thrown together now. But those strings, I don't think they're going to be necessary for long. But we can probably take those strings off once it gets backfilled a little bit more. And then it'll look at even more sharp. Right now, the strings are kind of getting in the way. If you have to mow, it'd be a pain in the butt. But eventually, we should be able to backfill that even more. And this is the outstanding thing. This trench. Oh my goodness! I had to get the dirt from somewhere, and you see that. I don't know if you can tell on art, but really nice red clay vein right here. And I was able to take a lot of that red clay and put it right here, and kind of mixed it out there as well on the other side. But this trench, this is the only part that I'm really not really sure what's going to happen here. I'd like to backfill it again, but I've got no dirt to backfill it with, and backfilling is going to be a lot of work. That hose doesn't need to be, that drainage pipe doesn't need to be near that low. So if I do backfill it, I'll kind of put some underneath it and then drain it sooner. But you can see how high off the ground that is, how deep I had to go in order to get dirt on that side over there. But actually pretty darn pleased with it. This was my first thought. I'll just throw some back wall on here, you know, and so I was looking at this, and it's like, this is, I don't know, that looks okay. I kind of like the look at that, but then I started seeing how much of that stuff I had, and it's like, that's just not gonna do. And these things, they kind of work. I mean, it's kind of sturdy there. It's actually kind of a wall behind the wall, because I've got this drop off here. It ended up working out pretty well. But I decided, you know what? Let's make it look nice. At least not, you know, not thrown together too badly. So I ended up getting these T-posts. Hey, Mr. Spider. I ended up getting these T-posts and just lined them up pretty much perfectly. And then put these metal pieces across the T-posts. And it's really, I mean, I've slammed that car against this wall pretty darn hard a couple of times, and it just slides along it. So it's working really well. I don't have any car fly out of it yet. Of course, I've been controlling it pretty well, but I don't think that's going to be an issue with the walls as high as these walls are. I don't think that's going to be much of an issue. Anyway, it's going to be a longer video than I intended, but hey, it's day one. So I figured I'd make a video of it. Probably should have took some videos when I was building it, but just too busy working on it to be messing with stuff like that. Boy, that's tacky. It just fell right in. See how that is making the marks there all over my boots. It really turned out better than there was times you're working on this thing and it's like, oh, this is never going to be right. There's just too many rocks and all that. But today really kind of vindicated a lot of that stuff. That yeah, you can actually screen out a piece of ground this big with basically a hand box screener. And it ends up looking and working really well. So, if I do say so myself. You see the car just coated with the stuff, and not a lot of pebbles and stuff, right? It's just pretty much just clay, like you'd expect. Usually like you'd hope for, I suppose. All right, anyway, there you go again. Camp Davis Speedway, test and tune day 1. Maybe tomorrow I'll try to set up a timer on it, because it's no reason not to at this point. It's absolutely usable. Bit bouncy, boom boom, going down the road, doing that back stretch. But this corner over here is sweet. I mean, it's really all up to you. It's the corners, really nothing to complain about over there. So anyway, here we go. Gone too long.